By now, we've already established the fact that Photopea is almost as powerful as Photoshop. Well, if you don't know that, then you have to watch the video where I did a side-by-side comparison between Photopea and Photoshop. Click on this button to watch that video now. Today, we are not going to be comparing Photopea to Photoshop. Instead, we will be testing for something else. Can the mobile version of Photopea deliver and give us professional results? Well, let's find out together. Now, before we test mobile, let's establish the standards. I am currently editing this image using Photopea on desktop so we can have a feel of what we hope to achieve with the mobile. Now, the steps I took here involve spot healing, blemish removal, skin smoothing, texture enhancement, and just a little basic color matching. Now here is the before and after. So now the real question is, can we get the same results using only mobile Photopea? Nothing extreme, just clean, realistic retouching, no desktop, no mouse, no keyboard, just your mobile phone. Well, let's test it out. Now I'm just going to open my browser and then search for photopea.com. And this is how it looks like if you have opened Photopea before. But if you have not, which I'm going to show you now by opening an incognito tab, searching photopea.com, it should display like this, showing you some messages. So I'm going to close this tab and I'm going to open up the app. Now, on this app, I'm going to click on open from computer because I want to work on that same image. I already transferred it to my phone. And here's the image. Going to select this image. Now here is how Photopea mobile looks. So first thing we have to do is duplicate our layer. Now when you long tap, it serves as right click. But if you click on this option, it says long tap as right click. So I think you long tap for like 2 seconds and let it go. It gets complicated sometimes. Even when you do it, it still refuses to work. Well, another option you have to do is hold it and drag it onto this layer icon here, and it duplicates the layer. That's also a better way to do it. Now, after duplicating this layer, the next thing you have to do is go to your spot healing brush, because right now we need to heal up the obvious blemishes on the face. So I'm just going to tap in on every blemish that I see as very obvious. You can zoom in by dragging in with 2 of your fingers to zoom in and zoom out as well. I'm going to paint out this eye bag. Hopefully it does a good job and I hope it doesn't crash along the line. By the way, to avoid losing your work if this app crashes, I advise we save the PSD. So I'm going to click on File, Save as PSD. Okay, now file downloaded. It has saved PSD. So in case it crashes, we can always open that PSD file. It didn't really do a good job there, but I think we have to move for the sake of this example. Now I'm going to come down to the shoulder here and fix this guy here. And that's fine. The next thing we want to do is to duplicate this layer. We need to duplicate this layer because this copy layer is what we are going to be applying this effect, this retouching effect to. Now, the very first thing we have to do is to come to Layer, Smart Object, and convert it to Smart Object. Now, the next thing we have to do is to invert it. Go to Image Adjustment, Invert. Now, after inverting this, it's going to look like a picture from a horror movie. That's fine. Come to Blend Mode and change it to Vivid Light. Now, once that is done, it should look something like this. Now, go to Filter, Other, and High Pass. Because I have worked on this on desktop before, so I already know the settings I used. So I'm going to be applying those same settings to achieve similar results. Now I'm going to apply 15 pixels for high pass and then come to filter again, blur, Gaussian blur. And the high pass smoothens out the skin, while blur would fade out the high pass a little bit and give it a little texture. So I'm going to change this from this to 2.5 pixels, just as I used in the desktop version. Now, when you zoom this in, you can already see how smooth it is, but then it's looking very creepy because it is applying the effect on the entire picture, but we don't want that. We just want it on the skin. So come to layer and then create a mask. We want to hide this image, but then it's still revealed because it's showing a white mask. So you come to image adjustment and then invert this mask, so it will change it to black. For those of you who understand how masks work, black mask hides and then white mask reveals. So you see it is hidden. We are now having the initial image look. Remember to always save, because I don't want to start all over again. So I'm going to save this. Oh snap. Even saving PSD, you don't crash while trying to save. How do you crash while trying to save? I'm going to reload this now and see. Okay, we have recovered an unsaved document. Thank God. Thank goodness. This is what I'm talking about. Oh shit. Look where it started from. All the way backward. I'm just going to walk over the whole process as fast as possible. Now, we have gotten back to the point where I have to put in the mask and then go and invert the mask. Now that we've inverted the mask, I'm going to try to save again. So in case it crashes, we'll not lose our work. So I'm going to click on save again. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Oh, thank goodness. Now, at this point, we would have to take our brush. Now, for the brush size, you can always increase the brush size. Just make sure the hardness is at 0%. We don't want it any more than that. So I'm going to increase the brush size to somewhere around 35. Now, make sure that the foreground color is white, because we want to paint the mask with white to reveal it on the skin area. Now, I'm going to try and switch this color. For some reason, my fingers are not touching the right control. Okay, I'm going to try and flip it over to landscape mode and just swap colors. Okay, I've done it now, and I'm going to turn back to portrait mode and go to my brush tool. Now I've been able to switch between the white and black foreground colors, so I can now paint in. Oh snap, it's obviously selecting the image rather than the mask. Now I've gone back to select the mask and I'm going to paint in white now. So I'm going to paint it in. As you can see, it's already applying this effect. I'm going to try to avoid the eyes area. You can see it's already looking way better. Now I'm going to paint on the arm, the chest, the neck. Now this already looks good as it is. The next thing you need to do is to remove the excesses that look really odd, especially on the nose area. So I'm going to try and swap colors again. Okay, that worked. Now, still on my brush tool, I'm going to reduce my brush size to, let's say, about 50. I'm going to want to paint out this part that has highlights, and maybe some deep shadows. I'm going to paint out the eyes just in case, based on how soft our brush is. Some part might have feathered into the eyes. I'm going to paint it out, and the mouth as well as the eyebrows. I'm going to remove some part of this even from the chest and the neck. So I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the brush to about 40% and then increase the size. Now I'm going to paint around the neck. I just want it to be there, but not too much. And now we have this. Finally, before we end this, we have to balance the color, because as you can see, her face is looking quite darker than her chest and neck. So we need to give it a yellow and red tint to balance up. Now I'll go to the layer and then I'm going to click on adjustments, and create the color balance. Now under this range we have shadows, midtones and highlights. I'm going to stay on the shadows, and for the shadows I'm going to crank up cyan to red at 15. I'm going to put it at 15. Then yellow to blue I'm going to put it at -10, and then I'll go to the midtones. Under the midtones I'm going to change the cyan and red to 10, and then for the yellow and blue I'm going to change it to 5. Now I'm going to collapse these properties. As you can see, it has affected the entire image, but I only want it on our face. I'm going to do the same thing, invert this mask. I'm going to come to image, adjustment and invert. So once it is inverted, I'll zoom in and then take my brush tool again, and this time I'm going to change this to white. I'm going to increase my opacity. As you can see here, once you move here, can increase or reduce the opacity. So I'm going to increase it to 100. I'm going to zoom in to the image, increase my brush size just a little bit. Let's say 200. At this point I need to just paint on the face. You can see it's bringing up that rich reddish yellow tint onto the face. Now her face and her shoulders are looking balanced. Okay, I'm going to export now. I'm going to export as JPEG. Save it to the highest quality, and then I'm going to click on save. So I would check and see if I have it on my gallery. Now this is it on my gallery. This is what we got. From our test, Photopea on mobile can handle face retouching. Yeah, it is slower. It requires a lot of zooming, unless of course you are using the tablet, but the final result is very close to that of the desktop. For quick edit or when you don't have access to a desktop, Mobile Photopea is worth the struggle. But for longer edit or more advanced edit, I would advise you get yourself a desktop. Now here is where it gets more interesting. If you are into more precise kind of editing like document editing, click on this video to find out if Mobile Photopea can cleanly edit paper text documents such as bills or statements.